All right, guys, I'm here with Michael Komola. He's gonna play baseball at Bellevue College next year. Who inspired you to play baseball?
Um, I mean, I guess my dad. My dad's always been into baseball, and ever since I was a little kid, I've been watching baseball. And baseball is the first sport that I ever started playing. I started when I was 3 or 4 playing t-ball, and never really stopped. Fell in love with the game. Just kept playing.
How did your senior season go?
It went good. Pitching was really good. I broke a lot of records for the high school. Pitching wise. Like I got the single season strikeout record, all time strikeout record. Um, Single season, I tied for single season wins, and I have the most career wins as a pitcher. So pitching was good. Batting, it went. I mean, it was pretty good. I popped off in the what was the first and second round of the state tournament. Had 3 home runs in one day. Broke my record from last year on that one day. Came into that day with 0, came out with 3. So that was probably my best hitting performance this year. But I mean, overall, it was pretty steady. Not
What was
too
it?
bad.
What was it like winning state?
Winning state. It was a surprise. I mean, if you asked me at the beginning of the year if I thought we were going to win state or even make it to state, probably would have said we have a small chance at making it, but I don't know how far we would go. But I mean, our team really stepped up in that last playoff run there. But I mean, for me personally, and I know for a few of the guys, uh, just winning it for our coaches was like the best part of it. Like, don't get me wrong, like winning it for us was great. It was a great way to end my senior season and my high school career. But for the amount of time that our coaches had put into the program and into the team, it was just really nice to see how happy they were once we won it. But it was an amazing feeling. It still doesn't really feel real, but I mean we did it. So
What was the recruitment process like for you?
the recruitment process, it was a lot of tournaments and showcases. Like last year especially, I'd pitch in almost every game we had for tournaments. I wouldn't go like super long each game, but I'd throw a few innings in each just to get looks from coaches, different coaches that were at certain games, and just getting a lot of in-game looks from coaches at tournaments where there were a bunch of scouts. And then I also went to a bunch of prospect camps and scouting camps through Baseball Northwest and PBR and all that. And so that was a good way to get in contact with coaches and just to let coaches see me pitch. But I mean, for Bellevue, I got a lot of coaches that reached out, just texted and called, and just talked to them. I went and visited most of the schools, walked around, got a tour of the facilities and whatnot. But I mean, it was just a lot of texting back and forth with coaches and calls and stuff like that.
What are you most looking forward to in college?
In college, I mean, playing baseball at a higher level, and just continuing to play. Since I've been doing it for so long, it's nice to finally like be able to know that I'm playing even after high school, which is where a lot of players' careers end. So it's nice to know that I'll continue to play baseball. And I mean, I'm just excited to go out there and just show out for Bellevue and hopefully get more bigger offers and keep moving up the ladder.
You did some work at Driveline. Do you want to talk about what you did there and how it helped you improve?
Yeah, I did a lot of work at Driveline. It wasn't a ton of stuff like at Driveline and their facilities because it's kind of far away, and it's mostly college and minor leagues and MLB players that work in the facilities. But I went through the program, and I have a batting cage in my house, so I would do all that stuff at home. And before the high school season, it helped me a lot, just keep my arm in shape. And I gained a little bit of velo because of my shoulder uh, coming in and out and not being super stable. It was it was less progression and more just like trying to keep it where it's at and making sure that my shoulder doesn't come out and that it's healthy and that I can continue to pitch.
Besides winning state, what are some of your favorite memories from your high school career?
Ah, high school career. Just the biggest one for me was last year we took that team trip down to Chelan. That was really fun. We stayed at Corbett's grandparents' house down there and just had a lot of time with the team and just hung out. And really just all those trips that we go on, we just stay with the team and hang out with them and all the long bus rides that we had back and forth to Bellingham. Those were all really fun. Just bond with the team, just have fun. But I mean, last year beating Cedar Park in the by districts was a good moment because that's pretty much our only rival in our league. So it's good to finally beat them. And then I mean, definitely has the number one memory definitely has to be winning state finally. Cedar Park getting fourth, but yeah, I'd have to say state for sure was my favorite memory.
Who are some of your role models?
Some of my role models. Um, Definitely has to, number one got to be my dad, my parents just supporting me and just their work ethic. Uh, it just helped me kind of push through and keep grinding at baseball to see how far I can get. And then, I mean, as far as coaches go, Coach Mike from the Growls and just that whole coaching staff was just so great, and it was just a great team environment. And they weren't those coaches that like they make you do what they want. They really listen to the players and just help push us in the best way, set us up for success. So that definitely has to be one of the biggest role models. And they're also, aside from being great coaches, they're also just really good people. So it's good to talk to them and learn from them and all their years of wisdom, and learned a lot from them. So that definitely has to be.
What advice or how has baseball helped you grow as a person?
Baseball. Baseball is a game of failure. So this you never like. It's one of those sports where you go out any given day. You can either do really good or you can do really bad, and you can go out there and have a day where you just do awful and you don't like the game and it just frustrates you, and then you can go out the next day and have the best game of your life. It's one of those games where you kind of have to learn to not live in the moment, or yeah, to not live in the past with all the failure and whatnot that comes with baseball, and just live in the moment and just keep grinding. And even if things don't go your way, there's always more opportunities. And so I guess like persistence and just being able to adapt to whatever is happening around you and flush it and move on was probably the biggest big that I learned from baseball. And just also just the team chemistry and being with your team and interacting with those guys. It's a great you learn a lot of lessons from baseball that I don't feel like you learn from other sports as much.
What are some of your hobbies outside of baseball?
Outside of baseball, I mean, I'm a big sports guy, so I mean, basketball. Obviously, played all 4 years of high school, and I've been playing basketball since I was, I don't even know, like 6 or 7. And then I just recently got into golf like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So that's something fun I can do. Just when the weather's nice, just go hang out with friends and go play golf. And then, I mean, aside from sports, I like building stuff, like just like using my hands and like I don't know, just like doing physical activities. And surprisingly, most people don't really see it, but I mean, I like art too, just like drawing. I don't do it as much as I used to, but just like being creative and doing stuff like that. Cause I'm a bit of a perfectionist and like I hold myself to a high standard. So stuff like that is just fun for me. I like just doing a lot of work and attention to detail and things like that. It's just fun for me.
How do you rest and recover from games and practices?
Yeah, I mean, baseball, especially being a pitcher, there's a lot of stress put on your arm and your body, and just from all the torque and drive and all of that stuff. So, I mean, after each outing, I'm pretty sore the day after. So it's a lot of icing my arm and shoulder, and then just rest. A lot of Advil too, and I mean, yeah, it's mostly just icing, and then for my shoulder especially, just with the history of it popping out and being kind of the joint being pretty loose, I have to do a lot of band work and strengthening the muscles around. Then also just eating good food and having a good diet and lifting to stay strong and healthy so I can perform my best. That's what I do pretty much after every outing and practice.
How do you incorporate mental health during the season?
Mental health, I mean, with baseball especially, it's definitely hard at times because there's times like I said before, like you have games where you just do terrible and you don't want to be there, you just don't want to play baseball. But I mean, it's just you kind of got to grind through it. And what my coaches have always said is just, especially Mendo, it's just like whenever you're hurt or you don't want to keep moving, just lift others up, just encourage others, and then that takes your mental state away from you and what you're not doing right. And so it's a lot of just interacting with the team and having good team chemistry. I feel like is especially good um, for that, and just having guys on your team that'll lift you up and not put you down and tell you that you got the next one, or you got whatever. So I mean, that's probably the biggest thing, especially with team sports.
What are some of your goals for your next year, both academically and in sports?
My goals for next year, I mean, just start my college degree. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but so figure that out. Probably my number one for academics. I mean, just keep good grades so that when I do decide to go to a different school after Bellevue, whether it be for baseball or not, that I have good enough grades that I can get into wherever I want. And then for baseball, I mean, my main goal is to just do good, show out for Bellevue, and hopefully get offers so I can move on and play at a D1 or a bigger school somewhere else.
How do you balance the relationship between academics and sports?
It's a good question. I mean, for the most part, my schedule, at least for high school, hasn't been too difficult. So there's not like too much that I have to worry about getting in the way. But I mean, it's mostly just staying on top of assignments, just do them as soon as I can once I get them so that I don't have to do it later and rush it and all that. And then yeah, I mean, for me, it hasn't really interfered with sports too much, but it's mainly just staying on top of your work and getting it done so you don't have to worry about it right before the deadline.
What does a normal week look like for you in season?
In season, um, this is like including school and whatnot.
First, yeah, yeah.
I mean, for school, it's just go to school, get your work done, and then I practice after school every day, so it's just get what I need to get done at school and then go to practice. And then, I mean, as of right now, it's just been work on my senior project, get all that work done, stay on top of that, and then go to practice. And then, of course, like recovery afterwards. And then that's about it. It's pretty light right now, but
Uh, what are your plans post baseball?
like after college,
Yeah.
I haven't really thought super far. I mean, get a good job that earns me money, really. That's kind of the kind of what everyone's after. But I mean, that's the biggest goal. Just keep keep good relationships with people. Don't lose those over sports because sports aren't forever. But like having good relationships with people and having a good job, just so I can keep myself supported. is probably my goal after college. And what I'll be doing, I'm not exactly sure yet, but whatever it is, something that's fun that I like to do that will make me hate work or my job or whatever.
Lastly, what advice would you give to other athletes trying to be recruited?
Get a lot of film of yourself just so you can send it to coaches when they ask. Um, People skills are really important, especially now that COVID's kind of wrapping down. It's a lot less online stuff and more in person. So just being able to talk to people, talk to coaches, and be relatable is really important. Being able to hold conversations with them so that it's not like boring or doesn't make it seem like you don't know how to talk to people. But I mean, it's a lot of people skills that you have to learn. And then um well, say the question again.
What advice would you give to other athletes trying to be recruited?
Yeah, I mean people skills and then also just keep working. Um there's always people out there that are doing the same if not more than you. So if you don't want it, there's going to be other people that do and they'll 100% take your spot if you don't want it. So you just got to keep grinding at it and don't give up even when it's hard to do. Probably the biggest advice I can give. Of
All right. Well, thank you for hopping on. Hope you have a good next season. Thank you.
course. Thank you.